Tonight we are taking an in-depth look at New York's bail reform law. It has been a year now since it went into effect, and it's been a rocky rollout. Tonight, our I-Team digs up the numbers on the people who are not showing up to court. And we'll talk with Buffalo Police about the strain that this reform is putting on their resources. Here's the I-Team's Madison Carter.
I, feel a kindred spirit with my African-American clients because I, too, come from beginnings where I had to find myself, and in that process I found myself in situations where I came up against the law.
Sam Davis says he knows the justice system from personal experience. It's what pushed him to become an attorney, one that works primarily with people who look like him. He says one of his first ever cases involving a young woman taught him just how problematic New York's bail system was.
And the court afforded her the opportunity to post $1,000 A or B. B is bond, you pay 10% of that, or you can post cash, the full $1,000. And I looked at her face and she looked just bewildered. She looked distraught.
Prior to January of 2020, those were the only two options for defendants.
And I thought, wow, it's $100 that's standing between her and freedom.
But now, after bail reform has passed, judges have a third option. They can set e-bail. It's a partially secured bond, which a judge can set as low as 1%.
You have a lot more individuals who have kind of like the mid-level violent crimes, the gun possession, the robberies, the burglaries, all of them where the judge is putting bail on someone, having that third form of bail, and now they're out.
Bail reform shook the system.
That shakeup helped a lot of low-income and minority defendants, but it also put a strain on law enforcement resources. Buffalo Police Deputy Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia says frustration is mounting because of how much work detectives have to do at times to even make an arrest in the first place.
And when they finally put that package together and they can make an arrest, the guy's out of custody again. It's maddening. So where bail reform is missing is not taking into account the victims.
Our I-Team found nearly half of people whose alleged crime is a non-qualifying offense are not showing up to court. In 2020, a total of 4,347 people in Erie County courts were given appearance tickets. 1,300 of them didn't show on their first scheduled date. And 570 warrants had to be issued after at least 2 failed appearances for a defendant's rearrest. But those numbers don't even include town or village courts. And even with a warrant, investigators tell us people are still walking.
When they're picked up on that warrant, if it was a qualifying offense to begin with, they have to be released. The judge cannot set bail. They have to walk out the door.
Many might recall that Hurdle Avenue knife-wielding suspect from August of last year who refused to appear in court until a police standoff got him back into Buffalo Police custody.
I sent cars down there, they picked him up, brought him back, out the door he went the next morning.
But Buffalo Police say they can't chase down every warrant.
We certainly don't have the manpower to go out looking for every single warrant that's been issued, through Buffalo City Court. There are obviously certain levels of crimes, very higher level violent crimes and things of that nature that we absolutely will send people out for.
Gramaglia says his main concern with repeat offenders being on the streets are cases involving possession of guns. That's a non-qualifying offense under the current status. But he's upset judges are setting low bail on those offenses.
Judge is not setting bail. It's maddening to me, and I can't get anyone to repeat this. People carrying loaded handguns need to have consequences, and they need to be held in jail. An appropriate bail needs to be set. Releasing gun defendants on their own recognizance, to me, there's no excuse for it.
Gramaglia says the fear is a more serious crime being committed while a suspect is free, but there just isn't enough data to back that up.
The reality of the situation, okay, is that we, meaning me and the police, don't really know if it's a concern because the majority, Madison, of the homicides and the non-fatal shootings are unsolved. I don't know who did it. So if the guy's out on bail, all right, and he did it, I might not know it.
And Madison joins us live tonight. So all these people who are not showing up for their hearings, what option does the court have then to do what it's supposed to do?
You know, the DA described it like a conveyor belt. He says the cases come into his office, they're moving along, his DAs handle it, and it goes off. But he says now things are stacking up on that conveyor belt, but nothing is being moved. So really, it's almost justice delayed. But I do want to emphasize, Gramalia, DA Flynn, that attorney Sam Davis, they all say bail reform was necessary. It's just creating these unintentional consequences and really backing that justice system up.
And Madison, as I recall, the governor has even admitted that the law really does have to be tweaked in some areas.
It has to be tweaked. It has been tweaked in some parts, but they still are working to make adjustments on it.
All right, Madison, thanks for your story tonight.